Hey, good morning, everyone. My name's Harry Thomas, meteorologist here at the National Weather Service in Wakefield, doing our weekly Thursday briefing. Not much has changed with the coastal flooding. That coastal flood warning still remain in effect across portions of the middle and upper Chesapeake Bay with moderate to locally major coastal flooding. Uh, what has changed is gale warnings have now been issued across all coastal waters in the Chesapeake Bay starting late tonight through Friday afternoon, and winds have increased for Friday to 30 to 40 miles per hour possible, the highest across the eastern shore. Just saw that I was muted. Sorry there, everyone. My name's Harry Thomas. I'm a national meteorologist here at the Weather Service in Wakefield, doing our local briefing for today. Not expecting much with additional rainfall, only upwards of half an inch is expected today, but the majority of the rain has begun to move out of our area. So really not expecting much more after that, especially with those showers and maybe that rumble of thunder again has kind of already moved out of our area with the rain now exiting the eastern shore. Winds for across the eastern shore, wind gusts up to 30 to 40 miles per hour are possible this morning once the easterly winds do start to when the easterly winds are kicking in, but then the winds become westerly and breezy on Friday with gusts up to 30 to 40 possible area wide, with the strongest going to be concentrated along the eastern shore. Again, widespread minor to moderate coastal flooding is continuing to be expected for today, with localized major flooding across portions of the northern neck and southern Dorchester County as well. Coastal flood warnings do remain in effect for the portions of the middle and upper Chesapeake Bay, while coastal flood advisories are continuing to remain in effect for the tidal York River in Worcester County. High surfs do continue to remain in effect for our northern beaches with 7 to 10 foot waves near shore. On the marine side, small crafts are in effect for the entire marine area. We have upgraded the gale watches to gale warnings across the coastal waters of the Chesapeake Bay, starting kind of late tonight through Friday. Then good news after that is benign marine conditions are expected to return by the end of the weekend. So just taking kind of quick look at the weather pattern, that low pressure system that's over our area is going to continue to move north for today. By Friday, it's going to be far to our north. We are going to remain dry Friday. Pressure gradient tightens up. That's going to lead to the gusty winds for tomorrow across our area, with those higher wind gusts possible across the eastern shore for tomorrow. Good news is by Saturday, high pressure starts to build back in, bringing dry and pleasant weather across our area. Sunday, it's going to continue to remain in control for the area. Then Monday, we kind of get a low pressure that may just pass to the south, but with the high pressure remaining to the north, we are expected to remain dry. So, looking at our wind gusts for the next 72 hours, those breezy conditions are going to kind of remain in effect for today, with the highest wind gusts going to be again concentrated across the eastern shore. But then for tomorrow, that's really when we start to see those winds increase out of the west, with between 30 to 45 or 30 to 40, mile per hour wind gusts possible, especially across the eastern shore, while other places may be between 20 to 25 to 35 miles per hour across the state of Virginia as well as northeastern North Carolina. Then that pressure gradient kind of slacks late Friday into early Saturday, and we start to see those winds die down across our area. Again, not much really expecting additional rainfall for today, maybe upwards of half an inch with those showers that have kind of already moved through the area. right now, but by this afternoon, most areas should become dry as well. We should start to see some clearing, finally getting away from the cloudy, dreary conditions that have overtaken the area for the past couple of days. So a good turnaround once that high pressure kind of starts kind of sneaking back in, that cold front moves through and that low pressure system moves to the north. We'll start to see those dry conditions return to our area starting this afternoon. Just taking a look at the daily regional forecast summary again. Once that cold front does come in, we'll start to see temperatures kind of hanging around lower to middle 60s, with those middle 60s being concentrated down towards northeastern North Carolina, kind of lower 60s elsewhere. And then our low temperatures as well, we'll start to see our lows drop back down into the lower 30s, or not lower 30s, excuse me, lower 40s, upper 30s across our portions of our area. So true dry fall-like conditions are going to return back to the area. And looking at precipitation, kind of after this afternoon, we go into a dry spell just for a couple of days, potentially for a little bit. Once that high pressure starts to take control back and it remains over our area. Just taking a quick peek over on the tropical side. Hurricane Melissa right now, Category 2 hurricane, just east of the Bahamas right now. Expected to continue to make its way north and east away from the eastern United States. So no impact from Melissa at all to the eastern United States. So kind of switching gears over to the coastal flooding. We do have coastal flood advisories in effect in that light shaded green area. And the coastal flood warnings continue to remain in effect for the Virginia Eastern Shore as well as the Chesapeake Bay side of the Maryland Eastern Shore, as well as the Upper Bay towards the northern neck portions as well. High surf advisories continue to remain in effect for today, as we could see nearshore breaking waves again between 7 to 10 feet. Just taking a look at the tidal flooding again, moderate to even major coastal flooding is expected today across, again, the Upper Bay where those coastal flood warnings are in effect. Widespread nuisance to minor coastal flooding is expected across portions of the York River as well. So those are where the coastal flood advisories are continuing to remain. But then you can see by Friday and Friday night, coastal flooding kind of dies down. Once we start to get those westerly winds in place, it's going to help push that water finally out of the bay. And so starting kind of Friday into the weekend, we should start to see the coastal flooding threat diminish across our entire area. Taking a look at the Upper Bay, we do have a couple more high tide cycles, especially for Bishop's Head, Crisfield, as well as Cambridge, where we could see some locally major to moderate coastal flooding across those areas for this high tide cycle that just occurred, as well as the next one. But really, starting Friday morning, we should start to see those tides kind of start to diminish as those westerly winds really start to kick in and help start pushing that water finally out of the bay. And then you can see by the weekend, we are far below any coastal flooding threat for those areas. And that's kind of going to be the same way for the all of the bay in our coastal areas as well. We do have, again, some of that locally moderate flooding across portions of Louisetta, Windmill, as well as Bayford for this next high tide cycle. And then those westerly winds, again, they're going to start kicking that water out of the bay, really helping diminish that coastal flood threat across those areas. We're already starting to see the lower bay and James finally get rid of all that water right now. So their coastal flood threat down across that area is really going to start to diminish after this next high tide cycle today, where we could see some nuisance to very possibly even minor, maybe not even reaching up to there, kind of seeing how this high tide cycle has played out. But really, after today, down across the lower bay and the James, we'll start to see that coastal flood threat diminish. As you can even see right here on Jamestown, Scotland Ferry, Kip to Peak, as well as Smithfield, again, some locally minor to nuisance flooding. This is kind of it. So we're on the home stretch right now of the coastal flooding threat for those areas for tonight. As well as for the ocean as well, we're already seeing duck not get near action stage. Just Chincoteague Bay Inlet as well as the Ocean City may see some localized possible minor nuisance to minor. But again, after this one, should be in the clear. Switching gears now over to the marine side. Just as of 10 a.m. this morning, we have upgraded the gale watches to gale warnings pretty much across the bay and across the ocean waters, across the Currituck Sound and the rivers. Small craft advisories continue to remain in effect, but for the gale warnings, they go into starting effect starting late tonight through Friday afternoon. Expecting winds between 25 to 30 knots sustained, gusts upwards of 35 knots. The strongest winds are going to be expected on Friday. Seas will be between 6 to 8 feet, occasionally 10 to 12 feet at times. Just taking a look at the probabilities right now. Decent probabilities for gusts greater than 25 knots. You can really see gale conditions really highlighting across portions of the ocean where the highest threat is. There is still some low probability for them, but enough for us to go ahead and issue a gale warning for the bay as well. But good news is not expecting any storm conditions. Looking at the marine threat potential for the next 5 days, really through Friday night, we're kind of expecting the significant threat with gales, of course. But then starting Saturday, we'll start to see things kind of wind down with potential of small crafts replacing those gales once again for Saturday night. But then good news, by Sunday, should start to see those a brief period of benign marine conditions across our waters. Then we start to ramp it back up again by Monday and Monday night with potentially another round of small craft advisories. Just taking a look at the marine wind overview for today. We're going to start to see those winds kind of shift out from the southeast, more out of the west, once kind of that front moves through our area. And then they really start to ramp up starting tonight into Friday morning. Again, by Friday, late Friday morning, early Friday afternoon is when we will really start to see those gale conditions starting to pick up. And then they'll start to die back down starting Friday night into Saturday. And then by Saturday afternoon, really should see those winds kind of decrease pretty decently, just maybe with some elevated seas remaining across our ocean waters by Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. Again, taking just a look at the summary, we'll start to see by late Saturday, early Sunday, we'll start to see those benign marine conditions return to the area just for a brief moment. Then by kind of starting Monday, late Monday into Tuesday, we'll start to see those winds increase, potentially bring in another round of small craft advisories across portions of our waters. Again, taking a look at the seas, we are still expecting pretty elevated seas across our oceans for today, especially up to the north, where we do have the high surf advisory in place. Those elevated seas will continue to remain through pretty much through early Saturday before they'll start to decrease, as you can see, and then they kind of really die down by late Saturday into Sunday, even into Monday. Waves do decrease, so we'll start to see that. Just taking a quick look at the significant wave heights for the next kind of 84 hours, between 10 to 12 with possibly even occasional wave height that happens every 1 to 15 or 15 to 20 minutes, excuse me, 13 to even 15 foot waves possible all the way up across our northern waters, and up to 12 feet across our southern waters. And then again, those seas kind of, again, will build throughout today, will kind of remain elevated through Friday, and then by late Saturday, they'll start to decrease once again.